Let's talk about 3 brisket tips I wish I knew when I first started my obsession with Texas-style brisket. The first tip is to foil boat your brisket. This one tip has made my brisket cooks faster, turn out juicier, and it's allowed me to produce consistently good briskets even when I'm cooking 10 or more at a catering event. The method is pretty simple. You wait until your brisket builds up some bark and hits around 175 internal, then you place it on 2 sheets of aluminum foil in a plus sign format and scrunch the edges outward to form handles. You can also shape the foil so it protects any dry edges on the point and roll it over to protect the edge of the flat, which has a tendency to dry out. Now, as the brisket continues to cook, it sweats out moisture and the brisket starts braising in all of that moisture that's trapped on the bottom of the boat. This causes it to cook faster, more evenly, and retain more moisture. It works really well in an offset smoker because most of the heat is coming from above and the point tends to cook faster than the flat as a result. But with the foil boat, you have all the braising liquid at the bottom, which is cooking it from the bottom up as well. And also you're leaving the top of the brisket exposed to the higher heat so it renders down properly. I live in Calgary and I'm at a very high elevation. It's very dry where I live, so I need all the help I can get. I also buy the cheapest briskets I can find at Costco, and they tend to be kind of on the leaner side and not a lot of intramuscular fat, so the foil boat really helps me out. Lots to love about this method and I highly recommend it. Shout out to Chud's Barbecue and Leroy and Lewis for popularizing this method and getting the word out there. The second thing I wish I knew is how to properly render the fat cap on my briskets. I watched a ton of brisket tutorials on YouTube when I first started smoking brisket, and they would get to the end of the brisket cook and they'd poke their finger into the top of the fat cap and it'd be nice and rendered, and they say, that's what you're looking for. You want that fat cap nice and rendered and caramel colored. But a lot of these videos didn't explain, okay, what do you do if you don't get that? What if it's hard and rubbery? Do you just keep cooking it? Do you do something else? There wasn't really many practical tips, so I had to kind of figure it out for myself. What I've since learned is that it's much easier to get a fully rendered fat cap on an offset smoker because the heat is coming from the top down and you're basically air frying the fat. It starts to render a lot faster in the later part of the cook when there's less moisture in the brisket and the brisket is at a higher internal temperature, and it also renders faster at higher temperatures as well. So if you're using an offset smoker, leave your vents wide open for maximum convective airflow, increase your temps a little bit to maybe 300, 315 degrees, and if you get really good at it, you can actually keep your fat cap a little bit thicker, maybe between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, because you'll be rendering it down so much that you can afford to have it a little bit thicker. On a pellet grill or other bottom-up heat cooker like a WSM, it's trickier, but what I do is I put a water pan under the brisket, and then I really crank up the heat later on in the cook. So the water pan blunts all that radiant heat from below from drying out and burning the bottom of the brisket, and it just lets that gentle convective heat over top of the brisket to render the fat cap. Another thing that helps is using oil or some kind of liquid fat as a slather before you apply your rub, or even spritzing it with oil or fat later on in the cook to really fry up the fat cap. Getting a properly rendered fat cap is really essential to getting an awesome brisket, so don't ignore it. You really don't want your guests pulling off that thick, white, opaque, hard fat off of each slice before they eat it. The third and final thing I wish I knew is how powerful a long hold can be. Now, we've all heard that resting is essential to make a good brisket, but I take it to the extreme and I hold at 150 degrees Fahrenheit in my holding oven for 18 hours until the next day. This does a couple things. First, it helps the collagen in the brisket continue to render into gelatin overnight without overcooking the brisket, so you get maximum juiciness the next day. Second, it means you can slightly undercook your brisket. I take my briskets to slightly undercooked at 190, 195 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I put them in the holding oven, and that saves me around an hour or an hour and a half that it would take me to take it up to 203, 205 to probe tenderness. And also you don't have to rest it 2 hours that same day, so that shaves off another 2 hours off the cook. So I just cook my briskets up to 195, put them in the holding oven overnight, and then I'm done for the day. I just pull them out of the holding oven the next day at lunch or dinner or whenever I'm eating them, and they're always perfect. If you don't have a holding oven, you can use your household oven. Just look up how to adjust the temps down 20 degrees on your specific model and test it on a foil covered water pan to make sure it holds at a perfect 150 degrees in the water. You can also use a sous vide machine, a turkey roaster, and I've even made a DIY sous vide holding chest that can hold a ton of briskets for just $100. But I'd like to hear from you guys. What top brisket tips do you wish you knew before you started cooking brisket? Let me know in the comment section below, and until next time, happy smoking.